So on one of our more recent videos, I started talking about prospecting and how you can turn a prospect into a customer. So I want to get into that right now. And when we first start off, first of all, the first thing you should do is make a list. Okay, and anyone who's telling you in our business you shouldn't make a list, that you should deal with cold market, I guarantee you that's someone who wants to sell you leads, because that is the most ridiculous thing in the world. I remember years ago seeing Tom Hopkins, one of the most highly regarded sales trainers in the world. He made it crystal clear. It's math. It's real basic. When you're selling to a warm market, which is someone you know, or the referral of someone you know personally, that's what he categorizes as warm market, your closing average is going to be about 60%. And that's taking into account great salesmen selling all types of things, average ones and bad ones. Just you have a much higher closing percentage in general dealing with warm market. And then he went on to say when you're dealing with cold market, which simply means someone you don't know, you're going to close 1 out of 10. Now, I was not a mathematical wizard when I was in school, but I know, you ready for this, that 6 out of 10 is 600% higher than 1 out of 10. It's a lot more money. When you start putting dollars, isn't it funny, by the way, those of you who are not good with math, or as they say in other parts of the world, other than the United States, they call it maths with an S. But the point is, when you start putting dollar signs in front of numbers, or euro signs, or pound signs, whatever it might be, if you put that in front of a number, isn't it amazing how much easier it is to become good at math? Anyway, if you're in a situation where you want to make a lot of money, go to your warm market. If you want to do it the right way, go to your warm market, and don't listen to the gurus that are telling you not to do that, because I'm telling you, they're either trying to sell you leads or some cold market system if they're giving you that advice. And they're not building any big sustainable group by doing it. And I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not trying to impugn them. I'm just telling you the truth is, anyone I've known over my entire career, either the people I work with, the people who own companies with, or the people that I just knew through the industry, they built their business through warm market. I understand making a list of people you know is weird, because what if they say no, and we don't like dealing with personal rejection, and what if they think you're weird? And again, we've done all this training before. They already think you're weird, so don't worry about it. Go talk to them. You got to get through whatever your mental barriers are about your list, because if you could put 250 people down on your list and you only put down 50, guess who you're screwing? Yourself. Because warm market is 6 out of 10 as opposed to 1 out of 10. So the more people you put down, doesn't have to be your best friends, doesn't have to be relatives, it has to be somebody you know, or someone that's a referral of someone that you know. You just put as many people down on the list you can. The more warm market you have to talk to, the better. Now, here's my point. No matter how many people you put down on that list, at some point, you're either going to be running really low on people, or you may run out of people. And that's when a lot of people in our business quit. They don't want to quit, but they quit because they have no one else to talk to. They really want the biz to work, but they just sort of sit there and do nothing and sort of wait for people to walk up to them and say, excuse me, are you selling a weight loss product? Because I'm a psychic friend, and you're throwing off a weight loss vibe. Do you have a business opportunity attached to selling weight loss? Obviously, I'm kidding. But the point is, if you don't go make something happen, that's something I shared on an earlier video. It's up to us to make something happen. I love when people say, I'm waiting for my ship to come in. Well, why don't you jump in the water and swim to your ship? It's up to us to make things happen. We cannot think like an employee and be passive. We are the business owner. We've got to make it happen. So when you go through your list and you're running low or you're out, now we need to start doing some cold prospecting. It's another area where people feel weird. Now, let me share this with you. I am not extroverted. A lot of people, because I'm on stage and all that stuff, they assume I'm an extrovert. Not at all. So in other words, when I'm out at a party and I don't know people, I sit there all by myself. I don't strike up many conversations. If people talk to me, I'll be polite and talk back. But I'm not the one who gets energized by a room full of strangers. If you know our personality profiling, the blue, green, red, yellows, Blues love that. They love being in a room full of strangers. Like, let's go meet a whole bunch of people we don't know. For me, my personality, no thank you, please. I'd like to just stay home, chill out, watch TV, read, do something fun. Now, I love being with people I know well. That's great. So if we go out 4 or 5 people and I know everyone, well, I can be the life of the party. But if I'm in a party, I don't know anyone, I'm not the life of the party at all. I just kind of sit there. I'm introverted. I'm sharing that with you so you understand it was uncomfortable for me to walk up to someone. So in the beginning, I would do typical stuff. I'd walk up to someone and I'd walk up to them and I was in my head, I knew what I was going to say, and I'd look at them and then I'd walk away without saying a word. And I know when I was walking away, they were going like, what was that all about? But I would literally get terrified about saying something. You know what I mean? So, and by the way, it's a direct parallel. When I was in high school, never had a date. Well, I didn't have a date until my senior prom. I finally asked out the girl I'd been in love with for 4 years, but that's another story. The point is, the reason I didn't have a date is I didn't ask anyone out. You know what I mean? You can be like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber and just kind of put out the vibe. But it's unlikely that putting out the vibe is going to get you a girlfriend. It's really unlikely that just standing there like a statue is going to get you a customer when you're in our business. So we have to make things happen. We have to go and talk to people. So are there right things to say to folks? Absolutely. But let me give you this advice. Say something. Hi, how are you? Wow, the weather is nice today, isn't it? Just strike up a conversation and be friendly. They say that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and conversely, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So our job is to just communicate with people. Again, go back to the basic happy premise number 1. We got to make things happen, so we've got to go and talk to people. So if I talk to someone, they're obviously miserable, I'm not going to bother. It was funny, I was at the airport today and my daughter was hanging out with me. I'm in Australia right now as we film this, and I was hugging my teenage daughter goodbye. She'd been with me all week. Now, this lady works at the airport and she's doing security and she screams at me, "You're not allowed to stand here. If you're not on a flight, you have to get out of the way." Now, I understand and respect security in the airport. I travel so much. I love those people keeping us safe. But for heaven's sakes, do I really look like I'm trying to do some harm to any pedestrians? I'm hugging my daughter goodbye. That was a miserable woman. Miserable. So if you go up to that woman later today and you try to prospect her, she's not going to be cool. She's miserable. No matter what you try to sell her, no matter what you try to tell her, she's going to be miserable. That's why we always tell you we're sorting, not selling. Some will, some won't. So what? So you talk to people. If they're friendly and they talk back, great. If they're not very friendly, move on. Stop getting emotionally attached to people who you just looked at. That'd be like going on Facebook if you're single, seeing a girl's picture and falling in love with her. What kind of an idiot would do that? By the way, a lot of people doctor those pictures. They use stuff like Facetune and so on and so forth, guys and girls. That's a whole nother subject. But for the time being, all I'm saying is you got to get to know somebody. You can't fall in love with a prospect from afar. And it's not just, a lot of times people have people on their list. Oh my gosh, George, he'd be amazing. If George did this, he's going to be great. He's going to be the top level in the company. George hasn't even seen it yet. We don't even know if George is going to like it yet. So don't fall in love with someone until they get excited about your business and start doing something. I remember years ago hearing the potential. We all know potential. I heard the potential was a fancy French word which means someone hasn't done anything yet. One of the things I learned as an experienced networker is I don't fall in love with someone until they fall in love with what they're doing and they start showing me action. Don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. So let's go back to prospecting. I'm going to give you an analogy, but I know you're going to get this. So imagine that you're in a relationship with someone. I do the boy-girl stuff from a boy's perspective. So I'm in a relationship with a young lady. And I've been in a relationship for a long time. So if I want to go home and kiss her, it's easy. I mean, we've kissed thousands of times, no big deal. Even if I want to be intimate with her, odds are that's going to be cool because we've been together for a long time. Now, if I'm not dating someone and I meet someone and I want to kiss her or be intimate with her, would you agree it's going to be inappropriate if I just walk up to her and start kissing her, or heaven forbid, trying to be intimate with her? That would, of course, be ridiculous. So imagine, keep that in the back of your mind as an analogy. So now I'm going out and I haven't talked to someone in years and years. I haven't talked to someone for 15 or 20 years. I call them up See, what you should do is, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in 15, 20 years. How are you doing? Are you married? Do you have kids? We should get together. We should have coffee. I'd love to hang out, blah, 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 blah. That's what you should do. First thing is you just talk on the phone. Second thing is you get together and hang out. After you build the relationship, then maybe you get a kiss. Now, I know you may want the kiss right now, but it's inappropriate to try to kiss someone you haven't seen in 15 years and have no relationship. Or it's even more inappropriate to go, hi, you work in a store here? That's great. Geez, I've been watching. You seem really dynamic and good at what you do. Do you make a fortune working here? You don't? Wow, you're kidding me. Is this what you plan on doing for the rest of your life? It's not. See, now I'm setting up where I may be able to get a number. Listen, I can't promise anything, but I may have a way you can make some extra money on the side. Again, I don't know if it's for you or not, but why don't you jot down your name and number? See, I want a lot of you go into a full-blown presentation right there. Too much, too fast. Let's just get a number. Let's go on a date or two or three. Let's send some flowers. Let's buy some candies. Let's go to a movie. Let's start by holding hands before we jump in and try to stick our tongue down somebody's throat. That's amazing to me, as you meet someone in a store and you literally start showing them your website on your phone or a video presentation, and people think you're crazy. See, once again, that's the kind of stuff that gives our entire industry a bad name. So understand, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Don't start cold prospecting when you're down to only 2 people left on your list. If you have 200 people left on your list and you're down to 70 or 80, let's start cold prospecting now. Let's start making some phone calls now, or let's start talking to people we haven't talked in a long time now. Let's start going to a different gym and meet some people. Let's go to a different church than maybe we normally go to. Just get out in the world and talk to people. Some are nice, some aren't. The ones that are nice, build a little relationship, change phone numbers. Maybe if you don't do phone numbers, at least maybe you become Facebook friends, something where as a week or 2 or 3 or a month or 2 goes by, then we can invite them to come and take a look at a presentation. Again, just stop trying to do it all too fast. Stop trying to make love to someone 5 minutes after you met them. I promise you, this is good personal and business advice. And it's just important for you to understand, guys, that prospecting is what's going to turn you into a professional networker. I cannot tell you how many people have had their career end because their list ran out. You don't want your career to end. I don't know of any great networker. I don't know of any networker makes a ton of money who their career ended when their list ran out. By the time your list runs out, you need to learn how to become a professional prospector, meet people, develop relationships, and then eventually be able to show them a presentation to turn them into a customer, potentially a rep, whatever the case might be. But quit trying to do too much too fast.